Hey there traders, it's Jeff from thestockbandit.com, and I just wanted to take a look tonight at this Lululemon, LULU, which is a momentum stock that's actively traded. Tonight this stock is actually looking like it could break down a little bit here, and let me explain why. Let's just kind of recap what's been going on for this stock. Back here in August, this thing bottomed out. It had been in a downtrend. We saw these lower highs along the way, lower lows, so the trend was definitely down. But this bounce right here turned into a reversal as it cracked this descending trend line and then quickly made a higher high the very next day. Then we saw the stock reclaim this 66 level, which had been resistance many months ago, then turned into support, then became resistance again. So anytime you see a key level like this that's respected on both sides of the market, it's important to take note of. And so as price pushed back through that at the beginning of September here, obviously, the recovery was well underway. Well, quickly after that, we saw this thing really pop post-earnings, and it came back up and didn't quite tag this 81 area that it had reached back in late spring, but it got to around 79 back in here. Then we saw it enter into this kind of bull flag. So you've got the sharp move up, then you've got the counter trend channel here outlining this bull flag, and that was ultimately resolved to the upside, but not for long. In fact, the first day, if we zoom in here, so this was the first day that the stock attempted to break that trend line, and that was nearly a bearish engulfing bar. The very next day, we saw a bullish engulfing bar. So clearly some difficulty here in traders making up their mind on what they want this thing to do and where this thing was headed. And it only over the next few days saw very limited upside from there. Since then, we've seen price roll over a little bit, and then bounce attempts each of the last couple sessions have been met with some minor selling. And now this thing is really resting on some very important multi-week support. And I say multi-week, this is over about the last 3 weeks. And so this 72.5 area has really proven to be important. We tagged it today, and we're narrowly above it as of tonight. But if we do happen to break that 72.40 area and get a good break of this 72.50 zone, and I say 72.40, just looking for some move that's beyond a penny or two, we get a good 10 cent break or so of that 72.50 area, we might see a decent little flush in this stock and possibly a test back down toward this 66 area. That would be kind of the next short-term level of support that this thing might head toward, and that may pose as a little bit of a magnet, as it has been a very important level so many times over the course of this year. So interesting to note that a bullish pattern which is resolved to the upside but not with much conviction can oftentimes lead to a total failure, and in this case potentially another hard breakdown. So let's just see if this level holds, but take very close attention to when you're trading continuation patterns like these flags or pennants. If price confirms those patterns, you need to see some follow through pretty soon after. Otherwise, it's a stock in the type of setup that you just don't want to trust very much. Now, by the way, this stock doesn't report earnings again until December, so it's got plenty of room and time to move before the next real scheduled event comes along. But I just thought it was interesting how this bullish look was initially resolved to the upside, but since then, no real follow-through has led to kind of a reversal and a failure of that pattern, and now this thing is testing some important short-term support. So keep a close eye on Lululemon. Thanks for joining me for this video. I will have more for you soon, but until then, trade like a bandit.